In this workshop, a mechanic is inflating a bicycle tire, but watch what happens when air pressure goes beyond the recommended limit. In seconds, the tire bursts violently, releasing compressed air and debris. This is why following manufacturer's specifications and using a pressure gauge is essential. Overinflation not only damages equipment but can cause serious injury. Always wear safety glasses, use the right tools, and never exceed the rated tire pressure. Safety in small tasks prevents big accidents. In this video, a worker attempts to unload crates of glass bottles from a delivery truck onto a snow-covered dock. Notice the unsafe conditions. The platform is slippery, the load is stacked too high, and no stabilizers are in place. As he struggles to maneuver the heavy pallet, the weight suddenly shifts forward. The entire stack topples, sending hundreds of bottles crashing onto the icy ground. Luckily, the worker reacts quickly and avoids being crushed. This incident highlights the importance of load securing, using forklifts or lift gates for heavy pallets, and never attempting to handle unstable loads manually, especially in slippery conditions. The intersection looks calm, cars moving as usual. Then, out of nowhere, a bulldozer barges in. The driver misjudges the space and smashes into an SUV. The impact is so strong, the SUV flips onto its roof in seconds. As dust and debris scatter, the bulldozer keeps rolling, shoving another car aside like it's nothing. Drivers nearby are stunned, not sure whether to stop or flee. Incidents like this show how dangerous heavy machinery becomes when mixed with regular traffic. These vehicles belong on work sites, not crowded roads. Miraculously, despite the violent crash, reports confirm no one was seriously hurt. A shocking scene, but thankfully not a tragic one. Inside this busy factory, workers moved quickly around the conveyor line. Everything seemed normal until one worker leaned in a little too close to an exposed fan. In an instant, her long hair was caught and pulled in with terrifying force, dragging her down in front of everyone. Boxes toppled, people screamed, and the line came to a halt. Her coworkers reacted fast, rushing to her aid, switching off the machine, and pulling her free before the situation could get any worse. She was shaken and injured, but incredibly, she survived. It's a scary reminder that in fast-moving workplaces, the smallest oversight can have huge consequences. Tying back hair, wearing protective gear, and guarding exposed machines are simple steps that save lives. On this construction site, one bad idea sets the stage for chaos. A convoy of trucks moves forward, but they're not just hauling themselves. The first truck pulls the second, and the second drags a massive cement mixer. As if that wasn't risky enough, behind it all, the team attaches a full-sized excavator. That's tons of steel being yanked along by sheer force. For a moment, everything seems under control. The trucks push ahead, grinding slowly through the narrow lane. But then, disaster strikes. The excavator tips sideways, crashing violently into the ground. Dust and smoke erupt instantly, swallowing the worksite. Workers rush in, waving and shouting, trying to contain the chaos before it gets worse. This could have ended far more tragically. Improvised towing like this isn't clever, it's reckless. Heavy machinery demands proper equipment and planning, or you're just seconds away from disaster. At first glance, it's just another ordinary day at a small fruit stand. The woman in checkered pants is busy preparing, adjusting things on the counter, unaware of the hidden danger beside her. Suddenly, as she leans closer, her helmet catches onto the spinning machine. In an instant, she's yanked forward with tremendous force. She struggles desperately, her arms flailing as the machine pulls her down, knocking items and sending coconuts rattling nearby. For a few terrifying seconds, it looks like she might be completely dragged in. An onlooker rushed closer, panic filling the air as she fights to pull herself free. Finally, with a burst of effort, she manages to break loose, stumbling back to safety. This close call is a chilling reminder. When working near machinery, even protective gear like a helmet can turn into a hazard if you're not alert. This CCTV footage shows a normal day at a construction site. Workers move about, while one man begins climbing up a scaffold to continue his task. At first, nothing seems out of place. The crew is focused and working as usual. But within seconds, the situation takes a dangerous turn. The scaffold begins to shake, then suddenly tips over, crashing down with full force. Metal bars and boards scatter across the ground, narrowly missing the workers standing nearby. Miraculously, no one is seriously injured, and everyone manages to walk away. It's a clear warning. Even one unstable scaffold can turn an ordinary workday into a life-threatening incident. If you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And if you've ever witnessed or experienced a workplace accident, share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. At first glance, this worker looks safe, standing on the stairs while the excavator loads material. But here's the danger. Heavy machines don't see the same way people do. Watch what happens when the operator swings the arm just a little too far. The excavator slams into the man, knocking him straight off balance and sending him crashing down the steps. Imagine the shock in that moment. 1 second you're standing steady, the next you're being tossed like a rag doll. This is why safety zones exist around heavy equipment. Standing close may seem convenient, but it's a trap waiting to spring. Always keep your distance, always stay visible to the operator, and remember, one blind spot can turn an ordinary workday into a nightmare in seconds. A normal day at the workshop quickly turns into chaos. 2 workers are setting up a tall wooden wall trying to hold it steady. At first everything looks under control, until the frame begins to tilt. One worker tries to brace it with his hands, but the structure is just too heavy. Within seconds, the entire wall tips over, crashing down with full force. One worker is knocked to the ground, while his partner barely manages to dodge out of the way. This close call shows how fast things can go wrong when heavy structures aren't properly secured. Always double-check stability before letting go. This scene is a perfect example of why trench safety is no joke. A worker is standing inside a narrow trench, dangerously close to the excavator bucket. For a moment, it looks like just another day on the job, until the ground gives way. In an instant, soil collapses from the trench wall, dragging the worker down and almost burying him alive. You can see how quickly things spiral out of control. The bucket, the loose soil, and the narrow space all combine to create a deadly trap. Thankfully, the man scrambles back up, shaken but alive. This could have ended very differently. Trenches must always be shored or shielded, and workers should never stand beneath unstable soil without protection. One mistake here, and it's not just an injury, it's a fatality waiting to happen. On a rainy day, roads can turn into dangerous traps. This busy intersection looks normal, until one truck loses control. The slick surface makes every movement risky. Cars pass cautiously, their tires cutting through puddles. But then an Amazon trailer approaches at full speed. The driver tries to steer through the curve, but the wet road betrays him, and the massive truck begins to slide, the weight of the trailer pulling it sideways. In seconds, it skids off the road, crashing through the sidewalk barrier and disappearing into the trees. A terrifying reminder of how little control drivers have once traction is gone. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt in this crash, but this scene shows the importance of slowing down, especially on wet roads, because one mistake can send tons of steel flying. Stay alert, stay safe, and if you've ever had a close call in the rain, share your story in the comments.